Namaskar my friends, and today I'm back here with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Prime Arcee. I know some of you have been waiting for this review for quite some time, but here we finally are. So before we take a look at the figure, let's have a look at the packaging, and this is the packaging right here. This is almost a decade old, I think more than a decade, almost 11-12 years old, and this is what the packaging looked like back then. You have the Hasbro logo here, Transformers Prime written here, Arcee, name of the character. This is the bubble on the card, and unfortunately I don't have her on the card because I received this figure a long time back. So first edition written right here. So there's a picture of Arcee right there, and the Transformers Prime, that famous poster scene. And of course we do get some other robots here as well, as you can see. There we go, those are the other robots that we get. So now let's have a look at the figure, and before we look at the figure, we did get this base, which is basically it's inside this bubble here. It's a nice base. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. I am one of those guys who likes it. Because I think this becomes a very nice display, especially if you're trying to do a museum display. You can actually stand your figure on top of this, and it looks kind of very cool. So that's just me, but a lot of people don't like it. Hey, to each his own. Now let us have a look at first the accessories. And as far as accessories are concerned, we get only these two blades. This figure actually has been released and re-released by APC Toys. And the APC Toys version actually comes with blasters and much smaller blades, and it also comes with these two blades as well, but these are way oversized for her. And by oversized I mean, see, there is a slot right here on Arcee's arm, and what you got to do is you just got to peg it in, and there we go. And you can pick this one in as well, so that you kind of get an idea about what's. There we go. So now, as you can see, that these blades are way too big for her, and in the show they were much smaller. So Hasbro screwing this up a decade back, more than a decade back. But those are the only two accessories that we get. No blasters, which is a shame. Back in the day, that's what we got. But the blades are way oversized, but they look good. Nice sculpting on them. So we'll take a look at them while we look at the figure. By the way, for storage, you can also store these weapons, these blades on her leg right here. There's a peg and a slot right there, and you could totally do this. There we go. So you could totally have Arcee. I think I put it right. I think I put it right. You could totally have her, store these blades on her legs, which don't look too good in my opinion. So that's just me. Here we have Arcee in all her glory, with all her blades, as I just showed a few seconds back. So overall first impressions, when I first received her, I loved it, and I still do. And I think it's a really, really good piece put out by Hasbro. Yes, it does have its problems, but you have to understand that this is a figure that was produced more than a decade back, and back then the technology wasn't as refined as it is today. Although this figure is amongst Hasbro's most successful figures, actually, in this entire Transformers Prime line, one could say. And a lot of collectors sort of compare the figures of what used to be produced like this to the ones that are being produced now. Some of the figures that are being produced now. Not every figure that Hasbro produces these days is gold. So this right here is a piece of gold. This actually is a very good figure. Though a lot of people may not agree, but in my opinion, looking at the generations of Transformers that have been produced by Hasbro, I think this is a really good figure. So let's have a look. So first things first, let's just quickly address the face, and I think that's a really good face. I think that is a really, really good face. There's no doubt. That's a very solid face sculpt going on right there. That looks like Arcee all the way. Yeah, that looks fantastic in my opinion at least. And the paint is nice on the face. Nice light piping in the eyes, as you can see there. I don't know if you can see it, but if I cover the light piping here on top of her head, the eyes don't light up. But when I do remove my finger, the eyes do light up. So that's a pretty good feature. Taking a look, not a lot of paint on the figure, but just enough to sort of separate out certain parts of her body. So we got some nice silver paint here. We got some nice silver paint here as well. Nice little pink, very faded pink going on here, which looks pretty good. And nice blues going on here. Even the blades actually are very nicely sculpted. Very nice. A very Cybertronian, alien looking blades. That looks pretty cool. Although oversized, but they look good. And I think that looks pretty cool. This is the part of the bike that's sort of sticking out like a tail, but once you get her in a good pose or in a position, that really doesn't bother me. I don't know if it may bother a lot of other collectors, but yeah, this is quite show accurate, I think. I don't exactly remember how the back looked in the show, because most of the time it was a front facing the camera, but don't quite remember how this part looked. But I think this is how the wheels are supposed to be. You could probably turn them and sort of have the wheels pointing forward, but I like to keep it this way. It's easier for me to display her with the other bots, especially if the space gets too little, or if I have to cram things up. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. The bike windshield, that's what it's called. I don't know. Bikers, you could probably correct me. And that's got some transparent plastic right there. And overall, very nice figure. I think this is a very good attempt by Hasbro, and I think they have nailed it, especially considering the time, considering how much these used to cost back then. I think it's a really good piece. The bike handles here as well, the mirrors here as well. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, overall I think this is a very nice piece. Aesthetically, she looks quite pleasing in my opinion, at least. So now it's time for the articulation, and there are two joints here which helps her look up quite easily, although the robot parts here, or the bike parts here, sort of restrict her head movement and she's unable to look up. She does look down quite a bit, which is pretty good. She can look down on Jack. That looks pretty good. Slight bit of tilt going on here, a little bit of attitude, which is good. When her head does turns from side to side, which is fantastic. As far as the shoulder is concerned, so her arms do go out to the side, slightly less than 90. We do get a bicep swivel. The elbows are double jointed, and look at the range of the elbows. That looks fantastic. Let me just get this thing off. The elbows actually get very nice range, which is superb. That's great. The wrists do have a left and right movement because of the hinge, a horizontal hinge right there. Of course, it doesn't have any swivel, but I'll tell you what does have a swivel. Her waist. She does have a swivel joint, which is good, and she doesn't exactly swivel from the middle of her waist. She swivels from the back, because of transformation, I suppose. So yeah, we do get that. She does kick forward a lot, which is what Arcee should be able to do. We do get a thigh swivel here, well, sort of, and look at that double jointed knees. Look at that. That looks fantastic. Really double jointed knees. As far as the feet is concerned, we really don't get any up and down movement or anything, or nothing. We basically get nothing here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this if you want to use it, but we really don't get anything in the feet. So that's just how it is. So that is the articulation. here we have Arcee in her alt mode or in her bike mode. And let me just tell you something, although the transformation is easy, but this area, this entire area, once you bring both her legs up and you try to peg in the slots, yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. It really is. You have to spend some time in order to get that thing done. At least I know I did. But once you do get her, all transformed, she does look good. She really does look good. And these are her weapons, and you can see that how they have been stored. And if I can just take these off, and I think I pegged it in there pretty good. You actually see the bike, which kind of looks really good. And more importantly, it actually has a kickstand, and you could actually have Arcee, standing up in her alt mode, parked on your shelf, and she looks pretty good. I really like that. I really do. That looks very nice. Quite show accurate again. Really like this. And yeah, you could definitely peg in her blades as well, but she does look good without her blades as well. So yeah, she does look really nice. We have also got some sculpted details here. The treads, the tires also look pretty good. The disc brakes also look very nice. And yeah, overall, I think the bike mode is pretty dope. And it's time to get her back from her bike mode or alt mode to her robot mode. Now let us have a look at some comparisons. And here she is with her friend and her comrade Bulkhead from Transformers Prime, and that is how she scales with her G1 counterpart. And again, so much of history on the screen right now. And this is, I think, the Kingdom Arcee that I have. This is the Prime Arcee, and that's how she basically scales with her G1 counterpart. The Kingdom Arcee is a G1 Arcee, so there we go. And here she is with Transformers Prime Voyager Megatron, and yeah, this really doesn't work because Megatron is like yay tall, he's like very tall. So this doesn't quite work, but that is the comparison right there. And here she is with a average size Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the Scarlet Spidey. So that's all when it comes to comparisons. Now let us move on to my final thoughts. So my overall thoughts about this figure, I think this is a really good piece, in my opinion at least. Sure, it is very old, and APC Toys have actually released a better version of her. APC Toys is basically producing all the KOs of Transformers Prime, and it's a much better version. She does come with her blasters, she does come with these bladed weapons, these ones, and of course the smaller ones, and a much better paint job. But having said that, this is the OG version, and I personally feel this is a very solid figure, solid release by Hasbro. It still holds up to this day, and I think those of you who have it have a real gem of a figure in your collection, and those of you who don't, you should probably find this gem and add her to your Transformers Prime collection. Especially if you are a fan of the show just like myself. I love Transformers Prime. It is one of my favorite animated shows of all time. And I really like this figure. So yeah, I might just sound a little biased here, but I personally really like this figure. So having said that, it is now time for me to wrap up this review. If you like this review, then do give us a like, comment, share and subscribe. And of course, we will bring you more content in the next number of weeks to come. Till then, please take very good care of your families, take very good care of yourself, take very good care of your collection, enjoy your collection, enjoy your families, enjoy your time, have fun, and always remember, till all are one. Thank you so much for joining us today.